Some of the things Mr. Trump says make a lot of sense. If I had anything to do with it, I would cut spending dramatically in the U.S. with with a chainsaw. I cannot figure out why those guys in Washington, I guess they can't count. America seems to be more inclined to war than other countries, at least historically.
Guys, welcome back to FXStrategies.Asia. Today we have the one and only Jim Rogers. Obviously, markets are hot, markets are cold, and we have important topics where gold been rising, silver been moving to the upside. So who not to ask apart from Jim Rogers? So now is the time to get your comments under the video, and please also don't forget to subscribe. Jim, geopolitical tensions have been rising. Is now a good time to travel the world again?
Yeah, I'd like to do it. I wish my children were more interested. I have two daughters, and I'd love to see the world with them, but, you know, teenage girls aren't too interested in traveling with their father. So I don't think it's going to happen, not for a while, if ever. But it would be a great time. Like gosh, there's a lot of stuff going on, and that makes it more interesting. You'll learn a lot more when there's stuff happening, if you live.
Probably also to learn more. You mentioned your daughters. They're maybe on Instagram or TikTok, bringing us straight to the topic. TikTok nowadays in the US, how do you see the future? It's in Asia, right?
Well, the future in 2025 is complicated. There may not be a future, in fact, for many people, because you look back at history and you see that the way wars started, there's a little war here and a little war there, and nobody pays attention to that one. And the next thing you know, oh my gosh, this is serious. And I don't think I know we're not at that stage quite yet, but I do see things getting more and more serious and more complicated. And I'm not suggesting we will have a war anytime soon, but it certainly looks more and more complicated than it did in the past few years. And Washington, you know, if you look back at history, Washington doesn't seem to understand that other people don't have to do what they say. And Washington somehow seems to think, well, if we say it, you should do it because we're the smartest, most powerful people in the world. I don't know if they are. Nobody ever has been that powerful, but we'll see.
Your daughters, they now speak Chinese. They are educated in Mandarin as well. How good is their Asian language skills by now?
My girls speak perfect Mandarin, better than most Chinese. The Chinese TV people put them on TV, and I said, why? And they said, because they speak better Mandarin than we do. We saw them on the internet, and they speak better Mandarin than we do, so we wanted to show people that people with blue eyes can speak good Mandarin. It's that simple. And I'm not sure why they speak such good Mandarin, because I speak no Mandarin, and for some reason these girls apparently speak perfect Mandarin. And I had nothing to do with it except instigated it. And my goodness, the Chinese tell me they're better than they are. I don't know.
So if they tell you what Xi Jinping has been talking about, do you understand, or do they understand already that Xi Jinping is going to kind of fight the US right now, or how's the Chinese response to tariffs?
Well, you better ask him, because I see, you know, the U.S. making moves, Taiwan especially. The Chinese seem to be ignoring Taiwan. My interpretation is they're just going to let this sit there because they know that someday they will have it again if they just wait. And if they don't wait and America does something, I mean, the Pentagon studies show that America could not win a war over Taiwan. And I'm not as smart as the Pentagon, but I know they couldn't win a war over Taiwan. I don't know why they would even think of such a thing. But the Chinese my interpretation is they're just waiting. They know they don't have to do anything, and if they wait long enough, they'll get what they want. Whatever they want. I don't know what they want.
Talking about tariffs a bit more, apart from geopolitical tensions, but tariffs are essentially now the new war, right? Is that the end game for the US? Is that the big response where China will finally pick up more momentum?
The Chinese historically have not had many international wars. There have been very few. The Chinese historically have just not bothered. They've had some internal conflict. They've killed each other at times, but for the most part, the Chinese have not had international wars. They never invaded Berlin or places like that. Other countries have, as you well know, including the U.S. But it seems to me the Chinese are just going to sit and wait. Who knows? Especially if somebody invades them, I'm sure they will react. But the way I see what China is doing is they're just waiting. They don't need a war. That they think they don't need a war, and so they're just going to wait, watch and wait. I hope.